Hello and what's up, guys? This is Rob, and welcome back to Rule of Two Review, where we try to put a positive spin on your gaming news. And today, I'm going to finally try to talk about that Tomb Raider controversy. Alright, well, we all knew it was coming. It's been long enough. It's day 3 of Gamescom, and we all know that this Tomb Raider controversy has been hitting the web like crazy, like wildfire the last couple of days. This was something that was revealed, of course, on the first day of Gamescom, and it's kind of really funny that I only recently started adding to my intro the little kind of clip where I say putting a positive spin on your gaming news, which is absolutely true. That's a very important message that Rule of Two Review has always kind of stood for way back to 2010 when I was actually just running it as a movie and game review website, and we had podcasts with a group of my friends, and that was kind of the idea. Is it's all about the positive side to these nerdy topics, because nowadays nerds are kind of a bunch of whiny bitches sometimes, and we all get really defensive about things, and we kind of had forgotten what it really means to be a nerd, and that we all just share the passion for awesome things and worlds and characters and universes and stories that bring us all together. That's gone to the wayside nowadays, and I honestly, not to sound like a silly old person giving a lecture in front of a fireplace, but I totally blame the internet. That aside, because of that, the funny part to that is that this is going to be probably one of the first videos where I really rant, because this topic has me ragefully pissed off at my fellow gamer and my fellow nerd and anyone in the industry who has been spitting this hate regarding this whole thing with Tomb Raider and the Xbox One exclusivity. It's ridiculous. I'm probably going to get a bunch of downvotes. I don't really typically get a lot of downvotes, if any, but I'm definitely anticipating some. So if this is going to really piss you off and offend you, I'm sorry. Please understand if you stumble upon my video by happenstance, just searching for stuff. It is not how I normally am, and it is not how I present Rule of Two Review, but this shit has just got to stop. Okay, so let's get the formalities out of the way. What is it we're actually talking about today? Again, I'm sure you know, I'm a couple of days late to the party on this one. Just been really busy the last few days with all sorts of stuff at my house and at work and yada yada yada. So now I'm finally ready to talk about it. It is, of course, the announcement from day 1 of Gamescom and Microsoft's press conference early in the morning, where they announced and revealed that Tomb Raider: Rise of the Tomb Raider, the next sequel to last year's Tomb Raider reboot, is now going to be exclusive to the Xbox One. And, oh God, what angle do I want to take on this first? Here's what I'm going to take. Here's the first angle I'm going to take. I fucking love that. I think it's great. I say congrats to Microsoft. Awesome for the Tomb Raider franchise, and awesome for fans of that platform, that game, and people who have Xbox Ones, and it's great. To me, it's great news all around. It's great news for a couple of reasons. The number one reason is because exclusives are wonderful for the industry. They're wonderful for the 3 console manufacturers, and they're wonderful for gamers because it helps justify our purchases. Why do we own this system? Why do we own that system? And it really just sort of exemplifies why you need to own systems based on their individual libraries, the uniqueness of one's library. And this is a topic I've touched on Rule of Two Review, and I even do so in real life with my real life friends all the time, and especially when defending Nintendo, because I think that's one of the things that makes Nintendo stand out as a company. And currently, the Wii U stand out as one of the 3 next-gen systems, or current-gen systems, because it's so unique in the way it presents its library, partly due in part to that controller. I've made videos on that before. I'm not going to get into that topic now. That would be sidetracking, but for the same reasons I've defended Nintendo's uniqueness of library, I do the same for anyone else out there who provides a platform for video games. And when it comes to Sony, Microsoft, PC stuff, handhelds, it's like, hey, you need exclusive content. Exclusive content, to me, excites me. That's what makes me care about gaming. And people get all, kind of butthurt and upset about this whole, like, well, I already spent $400 on a PlayStation 4, and I gotta spend another $400 on an Xbox. And, well, fucking yeah, you do. That's how this stuff works. You need to... Microsoft wants you to buy their console. And so they need to secure exclusive content to be able to get you excited about it. Sony needs to do the same thing. Nintendo needs to do the same thing. These 3 companies already have some of their own individual properties that we know are going to be exclusive to that platform. All of Nintendo's first-party stuff. We know Mario, Zelda, Metroid, things like that. Sony has God of War, Uncharted, Little Big Planet, things like that. Microsoft, of course, has like the Fable series. Halo's the big one. Gears of War they own. Excuse me. and all sorts of stuff. So all that stuff that's secure to the platforms already, we're all good with that, of course. But when it comes to somebody else having an exclusive game, everyone has lost their minds. And this is something that didn't used to happen. It's a really, really unfortunate trend that I haven't been enjoying. And it came to a head here. Like, I never expected this kind of a shitstorm. And I'm, like I said earlier, really disappointed. Like a parent scolding a child. I am just disappointed in you fellow gamers for reacting this way. Now, I get it. Spending other money sucks, and it's too bad that we have to spend money on these individual consoles. But again, something else that's not new. We've been doing this forever. I mean, back in the day when Sonic the Hedgehog came out on the Sega Genesis, like, no one was like, well, fuck Sega and fuck the Genesis. They cheated us gamers who have Super Nintendos. You know, that's just not fair. What if we want to play Sonic on our Super Nintendo? No one did that shit. No one did that during the 64 and PlayStation era. No one did it for the Dreamcast. It really wasn't even happening with the 2 generations ago with the GameCube, the PS2, and the Xbox. I mean, when Resident Evil 4 was announced as a GameCube exclusive, that was like people were certainly surprised, but no one was like angry. It was just like, wow, that's crazy. I hope I get to play it sometime. Or it's like, hey, I'm glad I have a GameCube. Or, as it's supposed to be, it's like, hey, I really want to play that game. I better go buy a GameCube. And so now, if you want to play some of the games available on Microsoft's Xbox One, and if that includes the next Tomb Raider, well, then guess what? You got to buy fucking Xbox One. We've been doing it for years. I'm repeating the same topics here, but that's how obvious it is to me. And so what the problem that people are pissed off at this is the problem with the gamers. I kind of look at it from the perspective of how dare you have a problem with this? You're treating it like something is being taken away from you. Like Microsoft did something wrong by securing exclusive content to try to make their system more appealing and to sell its value to you and myself and the average consumer and gamer. I mean, that's what everyone is supposed to do. No one complains about Nintendo's first party stuff. We all know, no one's like, God, I really want to play Metroid and Zelda on my PlayStation 4. What a dick move, Nintendo. That's completely not fair. A lot of people let me spin off that for a moment, because a lot of people keep bringing up the Bayonetta 2 thing, and we all know that that's a little bit different, because Bayonetta 2 was something that was not going to get produced. It was not going to exist. There was no publisher for that game. Sega backed out. Platinum Games was developing it, but then had no one to publish it and nowhere to put it. And Nintendo said, hey, you know what? We got it. This is now our game. We're funding it. It's exclusive to us. And so they saved it. We do know with Tomb Raider that this wasn't a case of saving. This was a case of Microsoft paid, obviously, a lot of money to secure this game as an Xbox One only game. And now there's another conversation people are having, which is whether or not this is going to be a timed exclusive or what's going on there. And I'm not going to lie. I do think that it's very, very possible this is a timed exclusive, releasing first on Xbox One holiday next year, 2015. I think it is very possible sometime in 2016 we could see it released on PC and PlayStation 4. However, honestly, I kind of don't really think it is, and I actually really hope it's not. And I say that as someone who owns a Wii U and a PlayStation 4, and I don't have an Xbox One yet, and I do want to play that game, and I'm not mad at Microsoft. You know why? Because Microsoft needs exclusive fucking games, just like the PlayStation does, just like the Wii U does, just like the PC and Steam does, just like the 3DS does and the Vita does. Like, it's just so obvious. It's like second grade logic to me, and it's first grade business practice. So unless people out there who are really pissed off are like 5 years old and just have access to a keyboard, you have no business talking about this shit, because you obviously do not know what you're talking about. Now, let me back off and calm down for just a moment. Hear me out here. I do understand. I said this a minute ago. I'm going to build off of this. I do understand still being frustrated or disappointed. Now, these things you are allowed to feel. You can say, oh man, I have a PlayStation 4 and I was looking forward to that game, and now it's not coming out on PlayStation 4. Shoot, howdy, what am I going to do? You can do that. You can say, geez, I'm really bummed that Microsoft got that game, because now what do? Do I buy an Xbox or do I not? How badly do I want to play this next Tomb Raider game? You're allowed to have those perspectives. But when your perspective is, fuck off Microsoft, die in a fire, I hate the Xbox One, and you stole something from me, which was, by the way, never yours to have stolen from you in the first place, I don't care what platform you own, then you're a goddamn asshole. This is the most swear-heavy video I've ever made. I didn't expect to get this angry. I blame some of my other friends and fellow YouTubers who made so many angry videos, and I didn't think I was that angry until I got ready to record, and I was like, this like really pisses me off. Really, really pisses me off. Mostly because it's just unfair to the publishers. Microsoft didn't do anything wrong. And everyone's like, they just dumped a bunch of money for them to keep this game secured. And I'm like, Yeah, they did. And what's the problem? Do you not live in America where commerce is the number one most important thing out there? Like, this is how the mighty old American dollar works. This is the power of the mighty old American dollar. And you want to talk about the American dollar in the gaming industry? Money really frickin' walks, man. It is the gaming industry. It is a billion-dollar industry. This shit happens. Microsoft, Nintendo, Sony are billion-dollar companies. They are going to try to sell you their product. And this is a great way to do it. And it's also a fun way to do it. I'm going to actually try to calm down. I'm going to try to end this video here because I could probably make this like a 25-minute video. I'm not going to do that. I've probably pissed all sorts of people off just because I'm ranting and screaming and swearing into my microphone against something I never do. But here's the point I think that I really need to make with this. So when it comes to exclusive content in games, I need to take this a step further. Honestly, I like it this way. Not only am I glad that Microsoft did this just because I know it's good for them and hopefully will help sell their console a little bit more, because I actually want them to see success. I want everybody to see success, and this is not only a great way to do it, this is literally how you do it, okay? So yes, I'm happy for them in that respect. I'm happy for Microsoft. They're doing it the way it is supposed to be done. Fucking idiots out there don't understand that this is the way it's supposed to be done. They think they can sit their fat asses on their couches all day and just wait for everyone to deliver everything they want gaming-wise right to their door on a silver platter. Doesn't work that way. Welcome to the world of business. Anyway, I know I keep repeating myself. So even though I mentioned that, yes, I'm glad for Microsoft because it's good for them business-wise, I also am glad for myself as a gamer because, honestly, I enjoy exclusives. I enjoy when all of the content out there and all of the systems and console manufacturers out there can be providing unique entertainment experiences to us, even the ones I don't have, even the ones I might not be able to afford for a while, and even when it's content I want to play but can't because I don't have that system. Honestly, I want to have my Wii U because it does Wii U things, and I want to have my PlayStation 4 because it does PlayStation 4 things, and I want to have an Xbox One because it's going to do Xbox One things. And right now, we've now added the next Tomb Raider to those things, that list of things that the Xbox One does. Great. Awesome. I want to play that game. Millions of people want to play that game. Now we know where to play it. It's the fucking Xbox One. So stop being a bastard. Get a job if you don't have money. Earn your own money and buy yourself your own Xbox One. Support that game. Support that console. That's the way it's supposed to work. I like the idea of each console having its own identity. I can't tell you how many countless times on videos for Rule of Two Review I've brought up the topic, even very recently, about the uniformity of the libraries between the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One specifically. And this happened big time last gen with PS3 and 360 as well. And that's been a growing problem last gen and this current gen. Not so much on the previous one, the GameCube, Xbox, PS2. That was a great generation. Oh, I loved that time in gaming. Last generation and this new generation, there's a big problem. The Wii and the Wii U both, Nintendo, they're the company doing this. They've been able to, based on how they create their hardware, and the fact that they have their own first-party stuff, they keep a pretty unique library to their platform. So the last two generations, with the Wii and the Wii U, they've done great as far as at least unique quality libraries. Now, when it comes to the PlayStation and Xbox brands, not so much. PS4 and Xbox One, even worse. Those systems have like the exact same fucking library. Seriously, go and look at it. You will see. I bet this percentage is very close to accurate. 90%, give or take 5. I guarantee you that is almost accurate. And even if it's not, I don't give a shit. I still have a point to prove it's a high percentage. I'm worried someone out there is going to actually go to Metacritic and count it up and be like, oh, it's only 79%. Well, like, okay, fine. If that's the case, that's still a goddamn high percentage. The point is, they have almost entirely the same library. And even though I think they're individual great pieces of hardware and I'm excited to own them, that sucks. And I think that is like the beginning of the downfall of a lot of the great things that make gaming great and make each individual console great. What is a PlayStation 4 worth if it has the exact same shit other consoles have? What is an Xbox One or a Wii U worth if it has the exact same shit other consoles have? Like, obviously, multi-platform games are going to come out and they're going to be great a lot of times, and they're going to be better on one system than another one by just a little bit, and that's fine too. But still, you know, they need to have their own libraries. Like, multi-platforms aside, it needs to happen. It's a very, very important thing. So I want every single console to have its own experience. Like, and the other thing, this is actually going to be the last topic here, guys. The other thing is that 9.5 times out of 10, exclusive games are better games. multi-platform games, especially when they're going back and forth between console and PC, have a tendency to be not always the most efficient running games, and they're gonna sometimes they're sacrificing certain things to make it work on, you know, one system compared to the other, and so it kind of cuts corners across all versions of the game. But when you can really sit down and pick an Xbox One and say, this is the dedicated console we're making our game for, you can tailor it to the specific strengths of that console. And mark my words, that's why some of the best games, if not all of the best games, have always been console exclusive. Let's take a look at Naughty Dog, for example. All of those games, the Uncharted games and The Last of Us, those games are so good. And they're so good as far as production, visuals, and like, you know, presentation, because they're tailor-made to take the full precise power advantage of what the PlayStation platforms are offering to them. Sony Santa Monica with the God of War games. Take a look at God of War 3. That game took advantage of what the PlayStation could do. It maxed the PlayStation out, just like great high-end PC games do too. If you were to, like, think about it. If you took God of War 3 and you were to have put that also on the Xbox 360, I guarantee you that game on both platforms would not have looked or played as good as it did being solely a PlayStation 3 game. If that makes any sense. When you can dedicate to the individual strengths of how one console's hardware is built, because they're all built very differently, then you're going to be getting the best game possible. So the game taking advantage of any one of the three systems hardware is going to be the best version of itself. Once you start splitting up between other systems, granted, sometimes they're still amazing, so I'm not going to say that they're not, but you end up sacrificing sometimes power or efficiency because you needed to kind of account for the lowest common denominator and cut corners because one system required it and the other one didn't, or because one system's architecture works best for this, but another system's architecture works best for that thing. And so, you know, long story, still kind of long. I think that exclusives are good. I'm glad that this game, I'm not so much glad that it is exclusive, but I'm glad that Microsoft made it exclusive, if that makes sense. There is a pretty important distinction actually between the two. I should say that, because I'll have a PS4 first, you know, and I probably will have an Xbox One by then, but I might not, you know. So it's like, I would love it if this game also came out on PC and the PS4. I actually would like that. But at the same time, I'm so happy Microsoft did something smart for them, especially because they really goddamn need it, you guys. Then I'm just great for them. Kudos to them. You did it right. This is gaming. It's always been this way, you know? So that's the point. Exclusives are good, and they're usually better, too, because they're taking advantage of the system's power. That's the whole message. Maybe this rant wasn't as ranty as I thought it was going to be. Maybe I wasn't as angry as I tried to prepare you for. But this is how I genuinely feel, and I'm so torn because I'm half really ecstatic Microsoft did this great thing, and I'm half really pissed off at gamers because what a bunch of whiny bitches we are sometimes, and that sucks. Okay, guys, I got to end it here before I go on forever. Thank you for tuning in. I hope I didn't piss you off too much or scare you away from the channel. I definitely appreciate the views. Remember, I don't normally rant about games. I am not an unhappy or angry gamer. I'm angry at gamers right now, but I'm not angry at games, game consoles, manufacturers, companies, developers, any of that. I'm mad at the gamer. So that's the caveat that I need to end this video with. Thank you for tuning in. If you stumbled upon my video, then again, Rule of Two Review. I post videos every couple of days, several a week. Again, mostly talking about that positive side of gaming. You can check my facts by checking out some older videos if you want. So, you know, yeah, updating all the time. So please go ahead and give a subscribe if you have not yet done so. It really helps me out, helps the channel, and spreads the Rule of Two Review content across the internets and the YouTubes and stuff, so very, very helpful there. If you did, in fact, like the video and you don't hate it and want to eat my eyeballs out of my head, then you should like the video and you should share the video. Share your comments and your thoughts about this crazy Tomb Raider debacle below. I expect quite a crazy conversation to happen, so I hope everyone gets into it. I hope people aren't as hateful towards Microsoft as they have been. I think that they're doing a fine thing. But that's it. So thank you so much, as always, for tuning in, guys, and I will catch you on the next video.